So I've been meaning to do this video for a while on what's going on in the world and my thoughts a little bit. I'm not going to go too much into my thoughts on this COVID-19 can't speak English coronavirus pandemic, but I will show you a video in a minute before Queensland was in lockdown, where KFC didn't allow you to eat in restaurant, and we thought that was kind of a crazy funny moment, so I did video our reaction to that. Now of course you can't dine in anywhere, you can only have takeaway, so things have changed since then, but I thought you might find it a little bit entertaining. That's not to say we don't take viruses of any kind seriously, because most viruses can kill you if you're not strong in your immune system and strong in your mind. However, we're not, well, I speak for myself here, but I am not afraid of the virus any more than I am of the flu or chickenpox or any other virus that can potentially kill you. I know that this virus is said to be worse than having the flu, and some people say it's like having a mild flu, so I guess it again depends on the person that has it and their immune system and how that deals with it. But I do think that while I agree that the way to stop viruses spreading is to stop people going near each other, stop those droplets from making contact with our droplets, so to speak, just like Hendra virus and the flu and any other virus. I have had swine flu when that epidemic was around, and I didn't even know it. I thought it was just a head cold. So that just, and I'd never had a flu shot either. And some of the people that suffered really badly have a flu shot every year. So my opinion on the efficacy of the flu shot is that it's not very effective. And I know that a lot of people are going to come in here and say that, oh, I need the flu shot because I have asthma, or I need the flu shot because my immune system's down, or blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it's very effective, personally. There's a lot of vaccines I don't think are very effective. I think some of them are effective, such as the tetanus shot. I do think that that does work, and it's not too taxing usually on the immune system or the body. So go and have your tetanus shots. But there are some that I don't think are as effective as what they would like us to believe. I don't believe that the Hendra virus vaccine, for example, will stop your horse from getting Hendra. It might lessen the symptoms or make it so they have no symptoms, but I don't think it stops them from getting it as such, and maybe could be more dangerous because they could have Hendra that goes unnoticed, and then we could, I don't know, play with their nose or do whatever us horsey women do and then touch our face, and then we've got Hendra. Like, there's no test to say that that can't happen. So same with the flu shot. I know the flu shot isn't a live flu shot, but it is like your body treats it like you're getting the flu. And therefore, I think it if anything, does more damage to your immune system than anything like your vitamin C's and your zinc and stuff that will strengthen your immune system. I actually think that having a yearly shot is going to weaken the immune system, because our immune system is designed, yes, to protect us and to make the antibodies to stop us from getting sick. However, before the flu shot, normally someone would get a flu maybe every 10 years. And now we're injecting ourselves with a flu-like substance that our immune system then develops antibodies so that we can fight that particular strain of flu. But that's happening every year, and that's not what our bodies are supposed to do. We're not supposed to get the flu every year. So, I'm not really one to advocate for that shot. I also know that it has caused some real issues for some people autoimmune conditions and so forth. So yeah, I'm not an advocate for that shot, and I know there's some like pro-vaxxers that want every single vaccine that's on the shelf, and they're going to come on here and blast me for saying that I don't like the flu shot and I would never get one and I would never recommend to get one. Oh, the elderly, oh, this, oh, that. Chances are that those people could get the flu anyway, because the flu shot only covers a certain amount of flus. Flus mutate every season. Well, they mutate all the time. And there's no way that the shot can actually cover every strain of flu, which is why a lot of people that have the shot then get sick, 2 or 3 times in that time after they've had the shot, and wonder why they're getting sicker. It's because the immune system has been weakened by having that flu shot. So yes, you won't get the flus that it has been designed to stop, but there's still other strains that you can get, like the cervical cancer vaccine is the same. It only covers one strain of that particular cancer, I guess, that can develop in that time. So you can still get other strains of that cancer causing, not really sure what you'd call it, it's not really a virus, but that particular strain is covered, but the rest of them aren't, and there's about 1,000 strains apparently that can cause that cervical cancer. So is the vaccine really worth it? Well, that's for you to decide, I guess. But anyway, this is going off topic a bit because there is no vaccine at the moment for coronavirus. If they do make one, I would be researching it very heavily before I make a decision on whether I get it. At the moment, I'm sort of leaning towards staying away from that, simply because, again, it's a virus and viruses can mutate, and I don't really want to weaken my immune system if these viruses are going to continue to circulate, which they probably are. There's a lot of theories on that, and I'm not going to go too much into that, but just, a little word from me. Anyway, we'll go to this clip now, and I will see you on the other end, and I hope you get a laugh out of it. Don't take it too seriously. This was very early on in the panic, and I don't believe in panicking. The doctors will tell you that. They tell me some bad news and I tend to laugh at them. Not really the reaction that they are expecting. But anyway, we'll watch this video and I hope you have a laugh and don't take it too seriously. And I will see you on the other side of that. Just had the most interesting experience at KFC because of the coronavirus carry-on. You're not allowed to eat in restaurant. So we're now sitting at the park, which is fine. It's good. Eating our food because we can't eat it in the restaurant. It's just insane. The world has gone crazy. I mean, we're not really worried about the virus as such. I mean, of course, if we get it, we'll stay away from people. Well, we pretty much stay away from people anyway. We're pretty much quarantined anyway. But yeah, we'll stay away from people and not spread it. But like, wow, it's just crazy. The hysteria that's around this virus is just... Do you have anything to say, Bradley?
It's crazy, that's all.
We got a laugh out of it anyway. I hope you got a laugh out of that little skit there, that little video that we took eating our KFC in the park. It was actually really nice to eat out at the park, nicer than eating in the restaurant. So thanks KFC for taking the initiative and closing your restaurant dining option sooner than anyone else did. Now, of course, you can't dine in anywhere, which is fine. That's not a problem. We can deal with that. We can still get our food, and we grow, as you know, a lot of food anyway. We didn't panic buy, but we did buy a little bit more simply because we didn't want to go to the shops too often, because they're a breeding ground for stuff. And also, that's what we normally do because, we don't want to make 10 trips to the shopping centre every week or whatever. So we did buy what we normally buy, I guess. And we do prep a little bit anyway, simply because we both are just above the poverty line, as they say. And when things are on special, or we can get things in bulk that's going to end up cheaper than buying it later on or buying it in smaller quantities, then we do that. So I don't believe in panic buying. I think that's ridiculous, and it takes away from others that can't afford to spend the money on the more expensive stuff that doesn't get panic bought because it's more expensive, or simply there's not those things available. I think that's a silly thing to do, and panic buying is crazy. If you're gonna prepare for things, then prepare for them, but don't go out and panic buy all at once. You know, it's not very ethical, I don't think. But anyway, that's my opinion on the whole thing. I do think that groceries are going to get a lot more expensive, and meat and all those products are going to get a lot more expensive. Postage is probably going to go up, all those sorts of things, because people are putting themselves at risk, so to speak. So they tell us, by continuing to work in those industries. And I think some of the smaller farmers will probably quarantine themselves and maybe not produce as much. Also, we have funny weather in Australia at the moment, where it's not raining near as much as it should be, and you know, there's a lot of natural disaster type factors that come into that. The fires that we've just had, you know, it takes a long time to recover from these disasters, and then we have this pandemic on top of that, which is telling everyone to stay home, which is pretty much what I do anyway. So it hasn't changed my life too much. But you know, I don't think this panic is necessary, but I do think that taking precautions, like every season, every winter, is a good thing. We should be doing this every winter, really. Like, not shutting the country down, of course, but taking precautions, washing your hands more, you know, making up some sanitizer and using that, and, you know, just taking a little bit more hygiene into consideration, because there are more viruses that enjoy the winter time and can infect us, and most of them are risky viruses. So I think that we should be taking care of ourselves and others as well, not sort of getting too close to others if we don't have to during the cooler months, because that's when we have our flus and our stomach bugs and our whatever else that could potentially really make someone very, very sick. And obviously the ones with the weaker immune systems and the elderly and so forth are at risk, especially, you know, people that are very ill to begin with. Maybe they have cancer or some other issue, heart disease or really bad asthma or whatever, and they need to be careful anyway. So I don't think that, you know, sanitizing yourself and keeping your hands clean and that sort of thing is a bad thing. I don't think that it's something that, you know, we should just do just for this season because there's this killer flu out there, or killer virus out there. It's not a flu, but you know what I'm getting at anyway. I don't think that's a bad thing. As far as, is this isolation or social isolation going to stop the spread of coronavirus? That remains to be seen. Is there other factors behind it? Probably. You know, there's a lot of conspiracy and stuff going around. I try not to buy too much into it, or at least not feel too much into it. You know, sometimes I find it interesting what people think, but try not to get caught up in it and let it become part of you, because that's really what's going to make you sick. I really don't like the media. I think that they incite a lot of panic. They incite a lot of fear, and panic and fear are something that is not going to do your immune system any good. So just be aware of that, and I hope to see you on the other side of this. I am still training on the gym equipment that we have here, and I'm still aiming to do a triathlon. It won't be this year, I don't think, but probably next year. As far as my recovery is going, I'm walking normally now without a limp, and pretty much everything is back to normal. I still get a little bit of stiffness in my hip area where the break is, the pelvis, but things are certainly getting back to normal as far as that goes. I'm supposed to have another x-ray next week and another appointment. I'm not sure if that's going ahead at the moment. Just have to wait and see how that pans out, but I assume it will be. I'll just have to probably answer a whole heap of questions about, have I had a cough, had I had a sore throat, have I had this, have I had that, just to before I go into the hospital to get the x-ray and that appointment. It's a Skype appointment with Brisbane to see if it's healing enough and all that sort of thing. Hopefully it has. It certainly isn't as sore as it was, and obviously I'm walking a lot better without crutches or wheelchairs or anything like that. So I'm hoping that God has answered my prayers and healed my wound, and I can get on with, well, not really a normal life at the moment, but get on with life. I normally have a lot to do in autumn, we're in autumn and spring, because I prepare the garden beds so that we can have a little bit of food to help with the food bill, and also healthier food, because it hasn't been sprayed with anything or artificially ripened or anything like that. So yeah, that's basically where we're at here and where I'm at. I'm not going to burden you too much with my opinions on what the ulterior motives might be, or too much more on what I think is the other side of this, only to say that we've had viruses like this before. You know, we had swine flu, bird flu and swine flu are the same thing, but anyway, well, as far as I can work out anyway, they're the same coordinate, if you like. So like Hendra virus is H1N1. I think bird flu and swine flu were H3N1 or something. I can't really remember off the top of my head what all the coordinates are, but they were both the same. So to me, they're the same thing, just called something different. But anyway, we've had that go through and it didn't shut us down, and it was pretty bad as far as infection rate, and I think it killed quite a few people as well. So it was a dangerous thing. And you know, we've had Ebola go through, but that didn't really infect too much past Africa and those sort of places. As far as I can remember, it was a fair while ago. But anyway, the point is, we've had viruses go through before. We've had pretty high infection rates, especially with the swine flu before. I'm not really sure why there's a huge hysteria about this coronavirus. I do understand that it's a serious virus, but so were the others mentioned. You know, we had SARS as well go through, but that was sort of contained a little bit more easily than this corona type virus. There have been coronaviruses around for many years. They're normally just a cough cold type virus. They're not normally very serious. Obviously they could be serious and turn into pneumonia, which is what this coronavirus is doing, and kill the elderly and the weak, you know, the ones with a weak immune system. But anyway, that's enough on that. I will catch you later, and please don't be too nasty in your comments. I get that we all have different opinions, and I like that, but there's no need to get nasty and get personal and start attacking for your opinion. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has one. So let's just leave it at that, and I will continue with video stuff, hoping to get back on track with my Patreon and starting my, well, I've already started it, but posting up my autobiography introductory stuff on there. So if you want to go and have a look at that, I'll post a link below. That's about it, really, that's going on around here, apart from the gardens. I will do some videos maybe on winter gardening and what you can actually plant now, because a lot of people have gone out and bought things and they want to get into gardening, which is great, but some of them don't really know where to start, and they've gone and bought all these seeds that probably won't germinate until spring. So yeah, I might do a video on what you can grow now if you're in a temperate climate like we are, and yeah, some other stuff. So keep your eyes open, and I'd love to see you again very soon.